I never thought a single envelope taped to my door would lead me to owning an entire HOA. But when Karen, the woman who patrols our street like she's guarding Fort Knox, slapped a $500 a day fine on me for something I didn't even do, I knew I had two choices: pay her or destroy her. She should have known better than to start this war, because by the time I was done, she wasn't sending fines anymore. She was begging for me to stop, and when she realized who really controlled the neighborhood now, all she could whisper was, "You bought the whole HOA." Yeah, I did, and trust me, I wasn't done with her. The trouble started on a Thursday morning, one of those calm, slow-moving mornings where even the birds sound tired. I walked out to get my mail, coffee in hand, slippers on, not bothering anyone when I saw it. That bright yellow paper taped right to my front door like a warning from the universe. I knew exactly who put it there. Karen. Our HOA, a self-appointed queen. 50-something, power-hungry, sunglasses permanently glued to her forehead, and a walk that screamed, "I own this street." She didn't, of course, but she acted like she did. I pulled the paper down and read the bold red letters. Notice of violation, $500 per day, fine until rectified. I actually laughed. At first, rectified what? What violation? Then I saw the accusation. Unapproved exterior structure in front yard. My jaw dropped. Exterior structure? I didn't build anything. My yard hasn't changed in years except for the seasonal flowers I plant so my wife's ghost, God rest her soul, would be proud. I looked around, confused, and then saw a tiny plastic storage bin, one of those $30 half bins people use for kids' toys. Except I didn't put it there. Someone had dragged it from the sidewalk into my lawn. A kid, a neighbor, the wind, who knows, but Karen. Oh, she saw an opportunity to play God. I crumpled the paper in my fist. This wasn't a mistake. This was targeted. I knew it when I saw her standing across the street, her arms crossed, chin raised like a queen looking down on a peasant. "You have 72 hours to remove it," she shouted, not even crossing the road. "And the fines start today." "It's not even mine," I said. "Maybe you should look at the cameras before you have a responsibility to maintain community standards." "Sir," she snapped back, "rules are rules." She walked away before I could finish a sentence. Typical for most people. This would have been a frustration, an annoyance, but for me, this was the moment she crossed a line. Because I had a secret. Karen didn't know I'm not just some old guy on the corner with a few gray hairs and a quiet life. I'm a retired acquisitions consultant. My entire career was buying companies, assets, and organizations that didn't think they could be bought. And HOAs, they're nothing but small corporations run by ego-driven amateurs. Karen had no idea who she was dealing with, but she would. She absolutely would. The next morning I received another notice, this time handled. Another $500 fine. She stood there like she expected me to argue, to plead, to beg. Instead, I smiled. "Thank you," I said politely. Her eyebrows knit together like she'd forgotten how politeness works. You understand this is serious." "Oh, I do," I said, closing the door gently. "You've made it very serious." Over the next week, the fines piled up on paper, but not a penny left my bank account. I ignored every threat, every letter, every voicemail. Then came the escalation. Karen began parading around the neighborhood, telling anyone who would listen that I was non-compliant, that I was running pup debt, that I was a danger to community harmony. She said this to everyone, except the one person whose opinion actually mattered me. But that was fine. Let her talk, let her stir things up. She had no clue what was being stirred behind the scenes, because while she was gossiping, I was meeting with lawyers. While she was sending fines, I was pulling public financial records. While she was drinking her lukewarm Starbucks latte and bragging about running the HOA, I was discovering something very, very beautiful. The HOA was broke. I mean beyond broke. They were drowning in unpaid maintenance contracts, legal fees, and a failed landscaping project that cost 3 times what it should have. The board was desperate, bleeding money, quietly hoping the homeowners wouldn't notice. And Karen, she had no idea how to manage it. She was running an HOA the same way she ran her marriage badly. I realized something crucial. All I had to do was wait. 2 weeks later, I got the letter I knew was coming. Emergency HOA meeting. Immediate funding needed. They needed a bailout, and I was going to be their savior. I walked into that meeting calmly. Karen wasn't expecting me. She glared so hard I thought her Botox might crack. "You're not on the agenda," she hissed. "I am now," I said, brushing past her and taking a seat. The board looked nervous. They weren't tyrants like her. They were just tired people who made the mistake of trusting the wrong woman to run things. The treasurer finally cracked. "We need $32,000 to stay afloat," he admitted. His voice trembling, gasps rippled through the room. Karen snapped toward him. "We will not disclose internal matters to—" I raised a hand. "I'll pay it." The room went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Karen's jaw unhinged like a shocked cartoon character. "You," she sputtered. "You're behind on your fines. You owe the HOA thousands." I leaned back. "Do I?" "Because I filed a formal dispute 2 days ago with the county. Those fines are frozen until reviewed. Try reading your own bylaws sometime." The audience murmured because they knew I was right. Karen didn't, or she didn't care. Asterisk. You can't just buy your way out of your responsibilities, she sneered. I'm not trying to buy my way out, I replied. I'm trying to buy you out. The room went dead silent again. I pulled out a folder and slid it onto the table. I'll pay off the HOA's entire debt if the entire board resigns, effective immediately. People looked at each other, shocked, confused, hopeful. Karen, she looked like she might faint. You can't do that, she spat. I can. It's legal, and given your financial situation, it's also your only option. The treasurer flipped through the documents I provided. His eyes widened. He's right. This offer is real. Karen slammed her hand on the table. This is my community. No, I said calmly. This is a corporation, and corporations can be bought. The treasurer looked at me with the eyes of a man who had been trapped for far too long. I accept his offer, he said. Another board member nodded. Me too. One by one, the board resigned. Karen stood there trembling, clutching her clipboard like it was a life raft in rough water. You can't do this. I stepped forward slowly, lowering my voice. I just did. And then, I bought the HOA. Every file, every rulebook, every policy. And according to those policies, the board president serves at the pleasure of the new owner, which meant yes, I said, staring directly into her eyes. You're fired. Her clipboard slipped from her fingers and clattered to the floor. I wish I could say she stormed out gracefully, but it was more like a shaken raccoon trying to maintain dignity while fleeing a trash can the next day. I hand-delivered a notice to her door, the same way she used to deliver them to everyone else. Notice of termination of authority, it read. Below it, you are hereby barred from all HOA meetings, votes, and enforcement actions. And knowing how petty she was, I added a personal touch. Have a pleasant day. But I wasn't done. I called for a community-wide meeting. Neighbors showed up in droves, nervous, hopeful. I stood at the front, cleared my throat, and announced, effective immediately, all existing fines issued in the past 6 months are void. Cheers erupted. Exterior design approvals will be simplified. More cheers. HOA fees will be lowered by 15% next year. Applause shook the walls. People were smiling for the first time in years. Then I revealed the final change. The HOA will no longer be run like a dictatorship. We are forming a new board, volunteers only. No Karens allowed. Someone shouted, thank God, and the room burst into laughter. As the meeting ended, neighbors hugged me, shook my hand, thanked me. One older couple approached me, faces soft with relief. You saved the neighborhood, the husband said. I smiled. No, I just stopped someone from ruining it. Later that night, as I sat on my porch sipping sweet tea, I saw Karen standing at the end of the street, staring at me with disbelief and outrage. She finally gathered the courage to shout, you'll regret this. I raised my glass in her direction, already enjoying it. I shouted back, her face twisted, and she marched away. But here's the truth. Asterisk. They didn't buy the HOA to hurt her. I bought it to protect everyone else from her. She started a war she thought she'd win with intimidation, but she forgot the golden rule. Never pick a fight with someone who has nothing to lose and everything to teach you. And now, the neighborhood is peaceful, the people are happier, and Karen, well, she now walks her dog 2 streets over in a different HOA. Rumor has it, she's trying to run for president there. God help them, because if she ever tries to find me again, I'll buy that HOA too.